They never expected a CEO to be escorted out of her own building. They especially didn't expect it to happen because she used sign language. But when a polished, powerful woman stood in the lobby of a gleaming corporate tower late one evening and signed the words, "Please call my father," to a janitor mopping the marble floor, the security team thought something strange was going on. What they didn't realize was that a story much bigger than misunderstandings and rules was about to unfold, one that would change a company, a family, and two very lonely hearts. The CEO's name was Elena Ward. She was known for being brilliant, composed, sharp as a blade in negotiations, but always distant. Rumors said she grew up isolated, educated abroad, raised more by tutors than family. What nobody knew was that the one person who had ever truly understood her was her father. And nobody knew that after a surgery gone wrong when she was 19, she lost most of her hearing, and he'd been the one who patiently learned sign language with her, so she'd never feel alone. But life had a cruel sense of timing. Her father passed away years later, and Elena buried the memory, throwing herself into work. She rarely signed anymore, rarely spoke of him, rarely allowed herself to feel. That evening, the building was nearly empty. Most executives had already gone home, and the echo of Elena's heels sounded loud in the lobby as she rushed toward the exit after a long meeting. Lightning cracked outside the glass entrance, illuminating heavy clouds rolling in over the city. She had just stepped outside when her vision blurred. A sharp pain tore through her chest as the storm wind whipped around her. She staggered back inside, clutching the doorframe. The janitor on duty that night was Daniel, a single dad with tired eyes and the kind of quiet patience life forces on you when you've been through too much. He worked nights so he could care for his daughter during the day. His daughter Lily was 10 years old, and she was deaf. Sign language wasn't a skill for him. It was a lifeline. It was how he told his child she was loved. He noticed immediately when Elena stumbled. The mop clattered onto the tile as he rushed to catch her before she hit the floor. Her lips moved, but no sound reached him. Her eyes fluttered. She didn't faint, but she was on the edge of panic. Her world had gone strangely silent, not completely, but distant, distorted like she was underwater. Her heart hammered. She tried to speak, but the words came out broken. Instinctively, without thinking, her hands lifted. "Please call my father." The signs were fluid, natural, emotional. Except to everyone else in the lobby, it looked like nonsense. To Daniel, it was perfectly clear. He froze, not because he didn't understand, but because he recognized the pain in her expression. That desperate plea of someone who wants comfort from the person who used to make everything okay. He had seen that same look in his daughter's eyes.
Who wants comfort from the person who used to make everything okay? He had seen that same look in his daughter's eyes when nightmares woke her. Up at 2 a.m., security noticed the commotion and hurried over. The guards had seen Elena Ward walk in and out of the building 1,000 times. Always polished, always in control. So seeing her pale, shaken, signing frantically at the janitor set off alarm bells. "Ma'am, is he bothering you?" one asked sharply. Daniel shook his head. "No, she needs help. She's asking..." But before he could finish, one of the security supervisors stepped in. He saw a distressed CEO and a janitor standing close, and he made the worst assumption possible. "Step away from Ms. Ward." Daniel tried to explain, hands raised. "She's signing. She needs..." But they didn't listen. Not to him. And they didn't listen to her either, because they didn't understand. Then came the mistake that would become office legend. Elena reached for Daniel's sleeve, signing again, "Please, father, call." Her voice trembled with the faintest whisper of sound. The guards exchanged looks. "She's asking for her father," one muttered. "Maybe she's confused." Another nodded toward Daniel. "Escort him out first. We'll get her proper assistance." Daniel opened his mouth in disbelief. "I work here." "She asked me..." "Sir, outside now." He didn't fight, but he didn't leave either. He stepped back, staying just close enough so Elena could still see his hands, calm, gentle, reassuring. "You're safe," he signed. And for a moment their worlds connected. Elena stared at him. Her breath steadied, not because he was a janitor, not because she knew who he was, but because, for the first time in years, someone spoke to her in the language of her heart. That was when the head of HR rushed down from the mezzanine after getting notified of a CEO medical emergency. She recognized Daniel immediately from employee files and she recognized the panic in Elena's face. "Stop!" she snapped to security. "Everyone stop." Silence fell. She's not confused. She's hard of hearing. And he's the only one here who understands what she's saying. The security team froze. Daniel glanced helplessly at Elena. "What do you need?" He signed slowly. This time her hands hesitated. Tears welled in her eyes. "My hearing. It's fading again. I haven't lost this much since the surgery. It's scaring me." He nodded with deep empathy. "Sit, breathe, you're not alone." That word hit her harder than the storm outside. Not alone. She sat on a lobby bench. The thunder kept booming. The lights flickered. Memories flooded in. Hospital rooms. Her father holding her hand, practicing the alphabet in sign while she blinked through tears. Security apologized. HR apologized. The building manager offered water. A doctor was called to ensure she was okay. But Elena barely noticed any of it. She kept watching the man with the mop bucket. The janitor who spoke to her the way her father once did. Once her breathing stabilized,